Thanks Macarena for sponsoring this video. Ever since I started cooking steaks, I have been obsessed with trying to make a cheap cut of meat taste incredible. One of the most important things with cheap cut of meat is to try to make it tender, and I have done some insane experiments with it. And sometimes I've been successful, others a complete fail. And today we're going to be trying out eggs to see if we can make a $1 steak taste a lot better. So let's do it. And this is the star of today's show. It is called an eye round. Not only is it extremely affordable, but most people do not use it as a steak. And for good reason. I'll show you that in a second because the first thing we gotta do is to clean it up. For that I try to remove all of the silver skin, but I leave a little bit of fat right on top. As you can see, once I was done, this is what it looks like. Now that is a nice and cleaned eye round. And here's the reason why this cut is not that tender. As I start cutting them into steaks, take a look. Notice how large the fibers are. And an eye round is a working muscle. It has wonderful flavor, but almost no tenderness. But hey, that's what this video is all about because we're gonna try to fix that. As you can see, once I was done, I was left with some nice, beautiful steaks. They're at about an inch thick and ready to be enjoyed. And here's what was left from the whole eye round. It's both ends. And what I want to know first is that if this really works. You see, most Chinese restaurants use this method, but they always do it as a stir fry. And that's exactly what we're gonna do right now. So I first started taking nice and small slices, then cut everything into strips. And as you can see, I was left with a good amount. To make sure this experiment really works, I separated them in 2 portions. I seasoned both of them exactly the same. A little bit of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and so forth. But the one on the right, I added egg whites, followed by a little bit of cornstarch with a pinch of baking soda. Then I mixed everything well to ensure that everything was perfectly coated. The next thing is to let it marinate on my refrigerator for 3 hours. Once the time was up, I took it outside and stir-fried the whole thing. And I'm very curious to find out if it's gonna make any difference. Once I was done, take a look. The one on the left has no marinade whatsoever. And as far as it tastes, I mean, it's good. It's not bad, but at the same time, it is not tender. Now the next one is the one we did with the egg white. Oh man, it's much more tender. It is surprising to me how much more noticeable it is. But now that we have that information, it's time to run our experiment. And as you already know, everything is about the egg white, not so much the yolk. I mean, at least that's what I think. So the first thing to do was to go ahead and separate the egg whites from the yolk. We're gonna go ahead and test this out and see how much differences it's gonna make. So after separating the whites, the only thing left to do was to soak the whole steak on it. And I make sure to get every single edge of the steak fully covered with the egg whites. And hopefully it's gonna make it super tender. As you can see, I covered the whole thing with it. Now there's left to do is to let it rest on my marinade so that the egg white can do its magic. And here it got me thinking, do we really have to separate the egg whites from the yolk? Why don't we just use the whole thing? Is that gonna make any difference? Well, we're gonna find out right now. Because after breaking up the eggs, I went ahead and mixed them all up, threw it in a bowl, and of course coated my steaks with it. Hopefully it's gonna make it even more tender. All there's left is to cover it up and let it rest on the refrigerator so that it can marinate. Now for my final version, I mixed it together with a little bit of cornstarch, followed by the baking soda. Because I have no idea if it was the baking soda, the egg whites, or the cornstarch that tenderized the steak. So I want to make sure that I try to replicate the same results. Then I mixed everything well, and of course marinated the steaks with it. One of the most important things I try to do is to ensure that every single edge was fully coated. Because now all there's left to do is to let it rest in the refrigerator. And once the time was up, I started removing the steaks. And the first one was the one that had the whole mix together. We're talking about the egg whites, cornstarch, and baking soda. I noticed that immediately it changed color. It also feels extremely slimy, and it seems to be nice and tender. And here's the one with the egg white by itself. It also kind of changed color a little bit, and it does feel nice and tender. Lastly, we got the whole egg. Now this one is extremely slimy, and not as tender as the other two. But hey, as you can see, this is what I was left with. I'll tell you one thing, I'm curious to find out how they're gonna taste. And most importantly, will it completely change the flavor? Or will it only be the tenderness? There's only one way for us to find out, and that is to cook it. So for that, I season all of them exactly the same. First by having a good amount of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. Because now all there's left to do is to cook them. The first thing I gotta do is to put a nice beautiful sear using some butter. Once that's done, I'll be cooking them in indirect heat until I reach an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. So now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook them. So let's do it. Before moving forward, I want to thank the awesome sponsor of today's video, Mac Arena. Mac Arena is an awesome mobile game that will test your skill and reward you for being better than the competition. They have fast-paced game modes and short, high-intensity team PvP that I just love. You immediately get the sense that skill actually matters. Your Macs run this game and there are many to unlock and upgrade. And this match right here, it was looking pretty grim. I was on my last life. It was me and my teammates versus 2 opponents. I was walking to cover and an enemy pops out. So I jumped in the air to make him miss his shots. Then I started shooting him while I was trying to stay behind cover. Me and my teammate melt the first guy. And then we turned our attention to his friend, making quick work of them. You guys know I don't like playing with my food. Easy win. Mac Arena has awesome in-game events as well as great login rewards programs which you don't want to miss out on. It is completely free to play on Android and iOS right now. And use my link on the description or scan my QR code to get 1 Steel Reaper skin, 500 A coins, 7,000 credits to help kickstart your game. And if you are quick, you can add me as friends as GUGAFOODS and we can play some matches together. So don't wait around, download the link on the description down below. Once again, thank you Mac Arena for sponsoring this video, but now let's get right back to it. Alright everybody, here we have our beautiful steaks. Are you hungry, Momo?
Experiment today.
Exactly, yes. And what kind of steaks do we have?
Iron.
Ira, oh my god, you said that so not happy, Momo. What happened?
I miss picanha.
Oh, miss picanha. Hashtag picanha. Let me know if you guys want to see some picanha videos. All right, Mama. So today we have our beautiful eye round. We are testing tenderness. Okay. All I care about is tenderness. All right, so we have our steaks here. Let's go for this one, the very first one here, Mama.
Okay.
Oh, that cuts. Okay, not that bad. Cheers, everybody. Oh man.
Man, it's flavorful. But it's a chewing gum.
It is. It's like, it is exactly like a chewing gum, but a chewing gum that has a lot of flavor. Yeah.
Oh, very tasty.
Oh man, it has so much flavor, and then
very flavorful. But you're gonna chew a little bit. You're gonna exercise your jaw today.
By no means is this a tender steak. This is our control, as you could probably tell. That was hard to swallow.
Yeah.
Instead
but it's
of
good.
Instead of you swallowing little pieces, you just swallow
you have to swallow a whole chunk.
Yeah, a whole big gulp. All right, very good. Next one, Omozing. Cut it right in the middle. Oh, perfect medium rare as well. Oh, I don't know about that. Does it feel more tender to you?
Not really.
Not at all, everybody. It does not feel that more tender. I'm going to take a very thin slice. If not, we're going to be here all day long.
I agree.
All right, let's see this one.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Huh.
It breaks out a little bit easier.
It does. Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting that. Wow. It is a little bit more tender, but that's crazy. Well, I'm with high hopes right now.
The seasoning feels a little bit less than the other one.
Still
tastes amazing, but it's like the other one tastes like you put some before you cooked and some after you cooked.
And this one?
And this one you just did one time.
I agree with you. It seems like it kind of wash out a little bit.
Yes.
But the tenderness level,
it does improve.
It did something. It did a little something. Not nothing crazy, but it did a little something.
But it makes a difference.
Wow. Pleasantly surprised. Okay, let's go for the next one. Are you ready? Oh, I just love it when it's perfect medium rare.
Man.
All right, let's go for the next one. How does it feel when you're cutting it? Oh, my mom is having a hard time, everybody. I don't blame him.
If he chews like he cuts, we're going to be here for a while.
We're going to be in trouble. All right, cheers, everybody. I love this flavor, though. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
I like this flavor, Mama.
It seems more tender, but it has a little extra flavor on top of it, too.
Yeah.
And it's hard to pinpoint.
It has a different taste from the other two. I agree with you. At the same time, it's not that it's a bad taste. Tenderness level improving from the first one. I think it did something as well. You agree with me?
Compared to the first one?
Yeah.
Definitely a lot easier to chew and
I agree.
softer.
I agree.
Compared to the second one, when you bite, it holds a little bit more, but it breaks away a little bit easier.
So to answer the question here, was this one here that we just ate more tender than the last one or no?
Yeah.
Really?
It is.
Wow. Okay. Very good. So right now, so far, for us winning is the third one. Agree?
Yeah. If
All
you
right.
continue on this road, that's going to be a fresh gum.
Well, let's find out. As soon as I put it. Yeah. So, whoa, what's going on over here?
Okay.
That was one straight slice, everybody. Knife is obviously nice and sharp, but at the same time,
the other ones didn't cut like that.
The other ones was like a saw motion, not this one here.
It feels soft.
Yeah. Smell it. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a little something.
Yeah.
In there.
I hate when that happens.
Maybe I was wrong and that's gonna go completely sideways.
Well, it smells very, very different, but the important thing is always the taste. We're gonna let you know right now. Cheers, everybody.
Yes. Back to chewing gum.
Yeah.
A little soft.
Softer.
Yeah.
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 Do you like the flavor? I want to know about that.
In the beginning it was okay, and now it came.
I don't like that flavor.
I'm gonna feel. Oh.
I would say this one right here, everybody, is not as tender as the previous one, right, Mama?
No.
This one here was more tender.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what it is. They already know. We got the very first one, which is the regular steak. The second one was with a whole egg. This is the egg experiment, by the way. I just marinated in eggs. That's it.
Marinated the steak and egg.
Exactly. But now, you might sound crazy to you, which sounds crazy to me as well. But that's,
the crazy house, take this guy away.
No, but that's what they do in all the Chinese restaurant for stir fry. They stir fry with a little bit of egg whites. But here I used the whole egg. So it was a little bit tender. But with the egg whites itself, it made it more tender.
Yeah, okay.
So if you use a whole egg, the thing that makes the steak more tender is the egg white, everybody. Yeah. Because even though this one had a slightly improvement, because of the egg yolk is not as good as this one here.
It canceled it out a little bit.
Exactly. And then here on this one here, I had other things like cornstarch, and the one you might not like, baking soda.
Oh, that was the smell.
That was it. That's what it was. The baking soda translated to the steak here, and it produces an off flavor that I actually do not enjoy, everybody. To answer the good question, Mama, does the egg white make the steak more tender?
Yes.
Surprisingly, it works.
Yep.
Now, it's not going to make your steak crazy tender like pineapple, but it slightly works. It improves the tenderness, and that is why all of the stir fries that they do, they put it in.
Makes sense now.
Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested in anything I use, everything is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.